In this video, we're going to be replacing a power window regulator for a 2010 to 2014 Subaru Outback. You'll learn how to remove the door panel, and you're going to learn the difference between the two different motors that are out there. There's a 2-pin and a 6-pin, and we'll get into that in this video. So let's begin. The tools needed for this project will be a basic 5-piece screwdriver set, a 1/4-inch drive metric ratchet socket set, plastic automotive trim tool set, suction cup or blue masking tape or both, and nitrile gloves. Here are some additional materials you may need: adhesive remover, a cotton cloth. If you would like a step-by-step guide, you can go to an online manual. The reason why I'm telling you adhesive remover, there's a moisture barrier, sound barrier, piece of plastic behind the door panel, and it has this black goo that's all over it. It tends to get over everything. Goo Gone adhesive remover is it's a good one you can use. I use a enamel reducer, but not everybody has that. The cotton cloth is to use to wipe off the goo if it gets on the paint or on yourself. And an online manual, I've been promoting emanualonline.com. They have really good online manuals for almost every car you can think of, step-by-step instructions. So it's just something to consider.
I've watched several videos on the procedure of removing the electric window regulator, taking the door panel and such off. And they're all pretty good, except for one thing that I've noticed. A lot of them have put this door back together or tested it and had found out they had the wrong motor in there, because there's 2 motors for these Subaru Outbacks, and around this year of 2012, 2011. I will put the full range of years that this covers down in the description, but I will show you the differences, and it'll save you some time and some mistakes. The difference is there's a 2-wire and a 6-wire electric window regulator motor, and the difference is, let me see how it says auto? If your button says auto, then it's a 6-wire. If it doesn't say auto and it's just a standard roll up and down, then it's a 2-wire. So that might save you some time before that way you can order the motor before you actually tear it down to find out what it is. I mean, if you feel better, feel more comfortable, then pull the door panel apart and look in there and look at the wire before you get too heavily involved. But let's get on to taking this apart. First off, you're going to notice that, zoom in on here, you've got a little cover for a screw right here, and then you have one right there in the door. That's the only 2 screws that you'll take out to remove the door panel. And you're also going to have to remove this piece here. It just pops off. So I'll set up the camera and you can watch me do this. Just a note, a lot of cars with similar door panel designs, you have to, the plastic will either lift off or the control panel will pull out and there'll be a screw or a bolt in there. But this car doesn't do that. It's just screw here and the little screw in that section right there. Get underneath it and just pull up. And then we'll take them out of the way so we don't fall out and lose them. This piece is real simple. You just get your fingers behind it. It just has a snap that goes in a hole. Now I use this little plastic tool just to be extra careful. Usually what I'll do is I'll find a spot where it's already got a gap in it. just snaps on. The reason why the plastic tool that way doesn't mar up or scratch the door panel. Just kind of bump it up to get it out of that track up here. And carefully lift off. Okay, well, we have to disconnect. We have to disconnect this. You just kind of give that a squeeze. It's got a clip that on it. So when I touched it, it snaps onto this little other piece of plastic here. I'll have to use two hands to pull this apart. Down here you have the courtesy lamp that's in the door. Again, it's a squeeze. Okay, for these are a little bit of a pain in the butt, not too bad. You just lift it out of the catch there. And lift up. See, it just kind of lifts the little ball lifts out thing. We'll do this one again so I can get a good view on it while I'm doing this. You have to pull it around to where there you go.
All you do is snap the cable out of its holder slot and then lift the ball out of a slot. Snap and then slide out of the little holder.
Okay, this plastic is designed to keep moisture out and a little bit of sound deadening here. And it's a black, gooey stuff they use. Actually, I thought they quit using it. All the 70s cars had it on there too, and it's just nasty. So I'm going to recommend using gloves to pull this back. Since we're going to have to pull this plastic off and around all these wires, you'll need to disconnect the speaker wire, and you'll need to disconnect this wire set right here. And it's just squeeze and pull. Now this has actually got a little catch in it, so I'll probably get some pliers to squeeze it and push it through. This bracket will have to come off. It's 2 screws because it's actually got the plastic. It goes over top the plastic, pinching it down. Which that wire's connected to. We might be able to leave it on and let it slide through. I'll have to see. No, I'll have to end up using a pair of pliers and just push it through. And the mirror wire is going to become disconnected too. This is for removing the snap clips on trim and stuff. The only bad thing with this tar is it just leaves a stringy trail behind it. So the more you get to the plastic or the more you keep on the door, the better off you're going to be. And this is better to do when it's not actually hot weather, because when it's hot weather this stuff just strings incredibly bad and you get it all over everything. Hoping these gloves will last through just getting this off, because once I get this off I'll be throwing the gloves away. We're also going to have to remove this piece. It just kind of snaps in. Now the issue on these, or any car, when the window is up, the bolts are about right here that release the regulator from the actual glass, rolling it up and down. So your problem is, if the window won't roll up and down, then you're either going to have to just take things loose or get your hands in there and take the bolts loose. Hopefully you can roll it down. Sometimes you can cut the cables and slide it down if you cut them from the motor, and that'll allow the window to go up and down by hand. See, it took a bit to get it to kick, to come down. And there are the bolts for the window regulator. Okay, now, in order to get once you get this regulator broke free from the glass, when you get this disconnected, you're going to have to get the glass back up and out of the way. You can run tape. When you got the glass up, you can run a few pieces of tape on the outside to help catch on that seal to keep it from falling down, or you can use a suction cup, and we're going to probably do both. I just pulled this. This is your actual motor wire for the window regulator, and I pulled it just to ensure that it really is 6 wires, because that's what I ordered, just based off the fact that it's supposed to be auto windows, and it is. Come out the bottom hole. It's going to have grease on it because that's what they use to keep it lubed up. You might want to wear gloves for this too. But that's it. Now we'll put in a new one. It might not hurt to go ahead and set them side by side to make sure they, everything matches the same, bolt holes and stuff. The only thing different after the aftermarket is they give you a long pigtail for the wire. So we'll have to, tie that up or something, because this one is straight to the motor and this one is, got a pigtail right off the motor. But I've checked them, they're both 6 wire, so it will work. The nice thing about the replacement motors, they already ran this down to the bolt-on level. In other words, they've already run it down and calculated where it's going to be in order to get the bolts back in it, so you don't have to run it up and down to get to it. I have seen some that don't. And you know, this is the top because it's got the little catches that go in these little slots here. And then I've noticed, the one thing I noticed is it's not lubed. And even though it's going to be a little bit messy, it would probably be best while you have it in your hand to spray some white lithium grease on this so that it can slide up and down this relatively easy. It doesn't need it necessarily on the cable, it wouldn't hurt it, but it does need some on this slide. Okay, I've sprayed some white lithium grease so that plastic will, you know, be lubed for a long time. I mean, otherwise you'd be taking the thing back apart to lube it. So they didn't put catches on the motor, which is kind of sad. That would help. Loves coming out of track, that's for sure. Just kind of keep it in track, kind of push it to the back. Once you get one bolt in, and you're safe from the glass from dropping down into the door. You need to connect up your wire, which come through here. We'll have to find a place to. It's got a little push in. We might be able to put it. I don't know. I'll have to see where I can put it to get it out of the way. It might fit in there. You just got to fit in some place that's not going to interfere with where everything else is gone. Because you want to keep it out of the way of the motor, the window actually going up and down. It can actually get a hold of it and snag it. So, I mean, if it means tie, strap it, whatever we got to do, it may go in this hole right here. It didn't actually come with instructions on what to do with the extra wire, but that might work just like that, but we'll see. But before I do all the snapping and clipping and putting this goo crap back on, we're going to bring the door panel over, hook it up to the wiring harness, turn the key on, and see if the window starts going up and down like it's supposed to. Just to keep the wire from rubbing the metal and stuff, I'm going to put a tie strap right there to pinch it back so it doesn't get rub on the metal over time and cut through the wire. It has a little pin here to help you line it up, so it just snaps back into place. You want to make sure that when you put this plate on, if you didn't remember, the screw hole for that you take out of the door panel itself goes in the top of this, not the bottom. Anytime you're working on interior pieces of the car, and you've got, especially like door panels or something, never leave the keys. And if you have an extra spare set, fine. But if this is the only keys you have, leave them on your toolbox or outside of the car, because going in and out, you may end up locking the door accidentally, especially when you're messing with electronics like this, and then you've locked your keys in. So always leave your keys outside the car while you're working on it. Now, if you didn't pay attention in the beginning when you took it apart, which I did, but the blue went on top and the black goes on the bottom. If you're curious, the blue is the lock, the car. The black is what pulls to release the door, to open it up. So when you get them connected back up, and you may have to stop the video and look at it to see how those balls, I mean, there's hardly no way to get the camera in there to show it, but the balls just drop in a little catch on these little levers which you flip out here, and then you put that little groove that's in the cable itself into the slot. And I'll see if I can find pictures to give a better description of that. The last piece to put on is this. Just kind of come in, and there you go. This electric window regulator is made by Brock. It's an aftermarket automotive part. I've used them for a long time. They work really good. So I'll put the link down in the description for both the 6-wire and the 2-wire, just in case you. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have any questions, just please contact me through either the comments, or you can go to my website, rodshop.org, and contact me through there. If you want to show me pictures or whatever you're working on, stuff that might be better, I'm not going to spam you just because you contacted me through my site. Anyhow, if you did like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around and wait for the next one, because I'm always working on something crazy. See you in the next one.